be honest. 17 after 11 o'clock and 17 degrees downtown. Looks like Barbara's going to win this one today. No, we don't want that. It's going to be 22 degrees. Barbara's prediction, of course, 20 degrees. And the weatherman, well, he didn't stand a chance at 13 degrees. We've moved on past that. It is Monday, August 15th. And, well, I tell you what, let me do this.
Galaxy 107fm.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, so very, very happy to have everybody joining us from wherever you are in the world this morning. Thank you for taking the time out and inviting us into your house. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you, it really, really is. Now, if you're going to watch it a little later on over there on YouTube, you know what to do, right? No, you do. Seriously, you do by now. Sub, thumb, bell. Bingo. Bell notifications when we have important people joining us. You know this by now, absolutely. Thumb, yeah, go on, get epileptic with that, go hard with it, and become a subscriber, become part of the Galaxy family. We call it the noise. Believe me, it is growing exponentially every day. And let me tell you how happy we are to be in association with Rise Up TV, Big Record, Sony Music here at Galaxy.
Another indie artist interview brought to you by Galaxy 107 FM in association with Rise Up TV, Big Record and Sony Music in Woodship.
And let me tell you, Drew Taylor's watching, Wendy Reese is with us as well, Jim Buffett. Nice to have Jim joining us as well. And today's feature artist, of course, Junkyard Heights. We've been playing them, you've been asking for them. Let's get it on. Here's Rusty Truck. So that gives us a couple of minutes. How are we feeling?
Good, fantastic. Hey, sorry about your 16 degrees.
Yeah, 16 degrees.
There, yeah.
Let me tell you what that is in Fahrenheit. You guys are in Fahrenheit, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
50 degrees.
Oh, okay, that's still pretty cool, but that's all right. That's better. Yeah, because I thought it was 7.
Yeah, no. What's freezing for you guys? Is it 33, something like that?
Hi everyone.
Yeah.
32.
Hi, Jim.
32. It was 30 this morning when I got to work.
I am.
Yeah, tonight,
Below zero. Where we are, we're on the east coast of the North Island, and we get to see the light of day, first of all, for every country in the world. But it's also warmer on the side of the island, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Below zero is unheard of where we are. It really, really is. You guys familiar with Lord of the Rings?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
There's a little bit.
Yeah.
The original set, which is still working, is about an hour and a half's drive from where we are at this office right now.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow. Cool.
We'll talk about that as we go through this, by the way, because there's a couple of things you might find amusing about it. But in the meantime, folks, it is an absolute pleasure to have you guys joining us. It really, really is. Pamela's back with us from Rise Up TV and Big Records. Nice to have you on board.
John Pater. Hi, Brian.
Hey, Pamela.
Okay.
Go, family.
Excuse me, I'm an asthmatic. I've always thought the breathing was overrated until now. So, how long have you guys been together? Since 2018, or you've known each other previous to that?
Well, it depends on which version you're talking about. We started as an acoustic trio, oh gosh, almost 5 years ago. And then that sort of turned into a full band operation last October. In fact, our first gig was October on my birthday, opening for Martina McBride Beauty Fest.
Very cool. Very cool. That's a damn good gig to have for your first gig.
Not too shabby. As I say, we were together for a few years as an acoustic trio, and that's when we started writing a lot of our material, and then we just said, hey, how could we turn this into a full band? And one thing led to another, and there we were.
Because you're talking about Wheelhouse, aren't you?
Yes.
Correct.
Gotcha. Believe me, I've read the bio.
I was going to say, you did your homework.
Yes, we always have a meeting before we do the interview, so it's fresh in my mind. I've got Alzheimer's. Well, old timers, apparently. Let's have some fun. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. So very, very happy to have you on board. See, John Paters joining us and Greg Lifesave. Nice to have you guys on board again. Thank you for joining us. Let me give you the skinny, and believe me, you're going to love this. Junkyard Heights are made up of course, Craig, Kevin, Brian, Liam, and Joe. And what do you know? They're all here today. Unheard of. Normally we get the singer or a drummer or a bass player. Today we've got the whole enchilada. I am absolutely stoked. And Tim Steinreich is in the house as well. Nice to have Tim on board as well. Guys, welcome to Galaxy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Craig, you're the lead singer of the band. Are you initially the guy that put this whole ensemble together?
Well, in part, I had just come off Seattle. We're probably talking 2017, and that was strictly. And I wanted to get back performing. I kind of wanted to head in direction, so I knew Brian as a local guitar player, fantastic blues player. So I figured I'll be interested in anything. So I gave Brian a call. We got together. We had a couple, just the two of us, and then we thought, gee, what if we added a third guy? So instead of adding another guitar player, I said, man, I've got the guy. Let's add a player. Get a bass sound. So I called Kevin, and that's how we put the trio together.
Now, how did Liam come into this?
Well, I've known Liam a little tight. He one of those kids, got very young. He just had a lot of ability to Vic made, and he actually come with my blues band was Corey Attack like that. He'd come up in the bar and start playing along quite well. So he just got but the opportunity, we had to come up with another player. I thought of Liam, and thankfully he said.
Well, I think, Liam, you absolutely add something special to the show. I really, really do. Now, Junkyard Heights, where did the name come from?
Kevin, good question.
Yeah, it came from my brain. I don't know, man. Sometimes I just get thoughts. I don't.
Believe me.
It seemed like it would fit what we were doing. It seemed our style, and it just seemed right.
Very, very cool. And believe me, I've been accused of having a thought or two every now and again as well. I really have. Now, we opened up the show. This was your very first original track that you've ever written, was Rusty Truck. Tell me a little bit about this.
Well, that song was written at my house outside sitting around the fire. We started to come up with an idea, and Brian and Kevin started riffs to it. In fact, do you guys remember we were trying to sort of figure out the genre, and at first we had called it Egyptian Junior because you came up with that riff that sounded like some kind of Egyptian country or something. So, Egyptian Junior. That quickly faded. Now we sort of refer to it as dirt rock, kind of how we categorize a lot of the music that we write. But that song is about if you've ever either owned or known a person that's owned a big giant rusty truck, everybody avoids you, and you sort of have your rough way, you know. That's how that went.
At the same time, Craig, we're talking about rusty truck. What sort of truck was that? That sounded fantastic.
Good, Kevin.
Okay, it actually sounded like my old rail bar, if you know what I mean. It was one of those old, big old, real metal kind of trucks, and just had that iconic sound from way back in the 60s, 70s kind of feel about it, you know what I mean? That had that same sound, same feel about it, and believe me, I play you in my car. I do. I was saying just prior to us going live to air that it's not easy getting an interview with us here at Galaxy. Doesn't matter that you're with Rise Up TV or Big Records or anything like that. It's all based on the quality and the style of your music. It really, really is. And it goes through a number of processes, including it's got to go past the board. Any given board meeting could be 8 to 12 people. You know what I mean? Got to get past them. Then it goes back to Barbara. Barbara takes it to production. Production and Barbara fight it out and work out, because we have so many people that want to do these interviews, and we've only got a certain amount of time per week to be able to get them in there. So believe me, it's got to be that much better than the rest. So we got that. Then it comes to me, and Barbara gives it to me on a USB kind of deal that I play in my car. Doesn't give me any information at all. Except for just play some music. I don't get a title, I don't get a band name or an artist name or anything like that. So, and there's a reason for that. In fact, there's two reasons for that. The first reason is, if I go and play you in my car, nobody else can influence me on whether or not I want to do the interview. You know what I mean?
Right.
Second reason is, and this is quite true, nobody else wants to drive with me. It's the truth. It really is the truth. Check this out. Barbara's son is a former New Zealand car racing champion. Goes sideways for a living, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Her grandson, current New Zealand champion car racer, goes sideways. She won't get in the car with me.
You notice at the very beginning of Rusty Truck, it doesn't start. It doesn't start. The end of the song, it starts, and we take off. It's off to the horizon.
Well,
probably like a 5
Brian, I kind of get that, Brian. I really, really do, because I had one that sounded not only similar, but did the same thing, and then when it got to the destination, we couldn't turn the bloody thing off. We had to take the thing off the battery to turn it off at the end of it. So believe me, that's why I was so fascinated with that particular track. It just reminded me of back in the day. Liam, shut up, you talk too much.
I was going to say before Brian went off, when Rusty Truck comes on, if it comes on in my car, I'm getting a speeding ticket. Doesn't matter. There's something about that song. I just want to go fast.
Yeah, it is music to drive fast too, I got to be honest with you. And I'm kind of, partial to driving fast anyway, you know what I mean? So I'm loving Junkyard Heights right now. Very, very happy to have everybody from Rise Up TV and Big Records joining us this morning. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. It is really a pleasure. And nice to get behind a Big Records artist or band like Junkyard. Believe me, these guys are great. They really are. So tell me, guys, out the window pane. Who went that way?
Well, so we have a couple of different approaches to the way we write. One of them is sometimes Craig, but Rusty Buck and Train to the Morning Sun will vote by idea, and Kevin and the rest of the band will try to figure out Craig's head. What the rest of the band doing vocals. Now the way Whip came out, I in my room here, and I came up with. I sent it. Craig came up as he just snaps his fingers, works in an odd melody. So that's the other way that sometimes I or Liam, a musical we submitted to Craig for vocal. That's kind of what happened. As far as that's it. Playing that one.
Well, you know something, Brian? Absolutely loving this. I really am. So without further ado, right here at Galaxy, joined by the whole band themselves, Junkyard Heights. Here is Out the Window Pane. How many countries are tuned in?
191.
Okay, that's not bad. There's 191 countries tuned in right now.
Wow.
It's not bad. It's not bad. How many cities?
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Pamela. Hi, everyone.
2313.
Thank you for
Okay,
joining us.
2,313 cities around the world are tuned into this.
Wow. Awesome.
So you guys are superstars. Where did Joe go?
I don't
He
know.
fell off.
Joe's working, so he might have had to pop out real quick.
Oh, okay. I thought he might have gone to the fridge for another drink. By the way, guys, if you need a psychiatrist or a little bit of mental health help after this, I don't blame you, but I have somebody in your area. Okay?
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
We can take care of you. Yeah, we can. You guys are in New York, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I used to tour with a band that's actually played at the Garden.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, they were an Australian band, unfortunately. That's the other country across from us that we like to give stick to. But yeah, we played at the Garden. I've also played at the, what was it?
Sydney Opera House.
No, not at the, yeah, well, we played at the Sydney Opera House.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, never mind. Move on. Elsa.
Asbury Park. We went and played there.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Are you guys, you guys would be familiar with those, wouldn't you?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're like 2.5 hours from the city.
Oh, okay. I played with a band called In Excess back in the day.
Wow, nice.
Yeah,
That's
I was their lead engineer.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So
Fantastic.
very
Awesome.
familiar. Very familiar. I had is Long Island that far away from you guys?
Yeah, well, maybe even more. 4 hours
Yeah,
away.
that's
Oh, wow.
city to get to.
Okay, well, believe me, my psychiatrist lives on Long Island. I'll get it to you if you need it.
She lived in New Jersey.
She does from time to time live in New Jersey. I think she works in New Jersey.
Oh,
though.
I see.
Right.
Yeah, we're right on New York, Pennsylvania border. We're pretty close.
I wouldn't admit to that.
No.
Oh dear. Dear. Jimmy Buffett says it is awesome. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Great band, Jim. Great band. And you know, Jim, we only play the best here. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. So very, very happy to have everybody joining us today. Fantastic band. I've been chomping at the bit for this one for a little while now. When these guys came around, I'm going, yes, it's about time we had some real music here at Galaxy. And believe me, these guys fulfill it 110%. Believe me, I'm loving it. I really am. Junkyard Heights, thanks for hanging with us, everyone. Well, yeah. Was that you, Kevin? Did you do that?
What? I did those.
Okay. Somebody here says from. I'm pretty sure it was from one of you guys anyway. So thank you for hanging with Junkyard Heights, guys. After we do this interview, I've got to let you know, don't go anywhere straight away because we do a few photos. Everybody's taking snaps and everything like that. Barbara puts it together in a movie. You'll get a copy of everything we do today, and we'll we lace it all together, make it a big movie. Then we throw that on the interwebby thing on YouTube, and believe me, it'll be around when the dinosaurs come back again. But I got a question. I got a question for you. Have you ever been a cartoon before?
No.
Liam's been, yay, nice. Well, I'll tell you what, Liam, you're going to be a cartoon again, believe me. Barbara does wonders with these movies, she really does. Turns them into cartoons at the end of it. And you know something? People like the cartoons more than they like the raw footage. You know what? That's weird. I like watching the whole deal, but the cartoons, fantastic. In fact, one guy watched one interview we did 20 plus times. I asked him, you know, what sort of beer were you on, bro? Believe me, 20 times. But he really did. So look forward to that. Now, I have a question from Rosalie. She's coming out of San Francisco, and she's saying, guys, how do we get hold of you as a fan? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? Are you a talker? But more importantly, do you respond?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have everything you just. We have a website. It's junkyardheightsbank.org. .com. Show our website. Goes. We have a nice little hype music. There's merch. But yeah, all the media platforms were pretty. If you send us a message via Facebook Messenger, we'll jump right on.
Now, Craig, you shouldn't have said there was merch, because you know what's coming next, don't you? I'm going to say to you, how would you like to send me a couple of tees that I can wear while I'm doing these shows? Believe me, it's subliminal. People go and have a look while I'm doing these shows on the interwebby thing. Believe me, before you know it, you've sold a half a dozen t-shirts and a couple of koozies and maybe some guitar picks at the same time. And I would be more than honoured to wear your brand while I'm doing this. Of course, Manny Cabot today, good friend of ours. Yeah, one of the finalists for The Voice too, by the way, is Manny. He really is. Now, having said that, guys, I want to know about Poor Devil's Son. Who created this? This is fantastic.
Thank you. This one, I think I had an idea for. We got together in Kevin's. He's the recording, and if I remember right, had an idea. And right, Kevin had this on bass line, really drives song, and I threw the chord over the top. It just kind of fell together. We thought of our stuff.
I love that about music, when it just comes together, and believe me, I think those kind of songs have the longevity. They last longer than the, the ones that you stress over for months and years and find in the back closet and go, okay, finally I'm ready to do it. I speak to a lot of artists, and some of them say, Grant, this was written on a McDonald's napkin in 5 minutes, and it's the best song they've got to offer. You know what I mean? I love this. Also, tell me a little bit about it, because I think there's more involved in this. Now, Kevin, you're the engineer on this. How long have you been an engineer? How long have you been engineering?
Probably 5 5 years. I mean, I started getting a lot more too. When the three of us started working. I started doing a lot of training. I graduated college with it, and it gave me a purpose to really hone in my craft. So I learned quite a bit. Working with everybody. I wouldn't be where I am right now if they didn't help me better at my craft.
Well, I got to let you know, Kevin, I've been an engineer now for almost 40 years. Literally, I've worked in some of the most prestigious recording studios in the world, and I've also been a front of house engineer working with some of the biggest bands in the world, literally around the world. And it's not often that I find a band that takes my imagination much like this. So believe me, I got to congratulate you on the work that you've done. Absolutely loved it. So right here, right now, is Junkyard Heights and Poor Devil's Son. Yeah, definitely music to drive fast to, Liam. It really is. Joe, is your mic working?
Whenever I write music, I'm like, can I go 110 while I'm listening to this? That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I get the logic. I get it. I love it. I've got to let you know that when have you guys ever heard of AC/DC?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when they come to New Zealand, I'm their engineer.
Yeah.
And I work with. Was a little worried there for Brian for a little while. I got to be honest with you, but we work very, very closely together. And have you ever heard of Dave Evans?
Dave Evans?
He was the founder. He was the founder and the former first lead singer of AC/DC.
Oh.
And I was just wondering, can I introduce you guys?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Can I get Barbara to, because I think that you guys and Dave would work out a huge, huge show. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Awesome. I think he's in Argentina right now.
He is, yeah. He's coming for an interview maybe Wednesday.
Oh, we're catching up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're catching up with him next Wednesday. So I'll drop the hint for him to get in touch with you guys, okay?
That's great.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Jimmy Buffett, awesome. Michelle King is back again. Liam Wagner.
Michael King.
Michael. I'm sorry,
not a girl, he's a
microphone
guy.
stands in the way of the machine. I keep catching
Sorry,
the wrong
Michael.
one. Sorry, Mike. And I know I've got a brother called Mike. I really do. Liam Wagner's joining us as well.
Yeah. He's up here. See, he's joined us. Liam up here.
He's Liam up there. That wasn't a surprise, Liam. Not sure if that was an insult or not an insult. I never insult anybody. But
No. I was talking to Brian. He goes, "Yeah, I'm not surprised you've been a cartoon." And I'm like, I don't know if that was an insult or not.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, guys. Anybody there a vegan?
No.
No. So you're all meatahologists like me?
Yeah.
Okay, look, there's a reason why I ask, literally, and I've been trying to figure this one out for a while now. Has anybody tried a vegan sausage?
No.
No. Because I'm trying to figure out if they're made of real vegans or not.
You need some new jokes.
I need some new jokes.
Yeah.
So I like to think
Well, the thing is, I mean, Girl Guide biscuits. Do I need to go down the road with Girl Guide biscuits? I mean, seriously. So what's the story with vegan sausages? My staff is saying that I need some new jokes.
You do.
Okay, all right, fine. Do you guys remember William Shatner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Captain Kirk. I see he had to remove his female lingerie from the stores.
Here we go.
Really?
Yeah, Shatner Panties wasn't a good name, apparently.
We missed the
He
punchline.
needs new
Shatner
guns, doesn't
Panties
he?
wasn't a good name, apparently.
That was good.
There was the moment, come on!
You need the symbol. You gotta have the symbol.
Yeah, exactly, a bit of crash.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I've actually played for the symphony orchestra back in the day. I played the triangle.
I'm trying.
I really did. I got one gig. That was it. That's right. You're right here at Galaxy 107. Yeah, very much. Anyway, I'm getting lost here actually because these guys are talking to Pamela and Lisa and everybody into the house and everything like that, and I'm accusing them of, lamo, or maybe insulting. Well, I'm not really. I'm just, saying about the cartoons. Liam, I got to let you know, as far as the cartoons go, it's the one thing that actually makes me look good. I mean, I got the perfect face for radio, right? So the cartoons actually help me out. They really, really do. So you'll enjoy them. You really will. Now, I'm going to do this. I really am. Joe, will you please say something to me?
How are you?
Oh, look, he talks. Gosh, and I thought Liam was quiet. My God, Joe.
Well, Liam and I are very shy. That's fine.
Okay, so how the hell did you get into the job you're doing?
It's sarcasm.
Yeah, fair enough too, believe me. I understand that. I talk to Australians all the time. Now guys, I'm not sure whether you'd be familiar with this or not, but being with Big Records and Rise Up TV, you would understand that they have a bus and they go touring around with a TV company and, do all sorts of weird and wacky things. These guys are embarking on a worldwide tour pretty much. They're going over to Ireland very, very shortly, then over to India, down to Papua New Guinea, heading to New Zealand here, and then going to Cambodia. Ever thought of getting on that trip? Did you ever think maybe, just maybe, you might want to come down to the Antipodes and play in New Zealand?
Yeah, that is something that's possibly free for us. I think that we have talked about UK tour, possibly Norway, and is in New Zealand. But we're trying to figure out all the details with that. But hopefully we'll be able to find something like this.
Well, it's strange that you should mention Norway, Craig, literally, because we have a friend over in Norway, and I think you've been talking to Tim Steinreich just quietly, because I introduced him to my friend in Norway. He's the manager of a band called Viking Queen over there. Got to give you a little bit of inside skinny to Gay Miranda, and we were talking about this earlier on, about Lord of the Rings. Gay Miranda actually wrote the score for that.
Wow.
So you're in good company if you're going to hang out with the guys from Viking Queen down in Norway. Believe me, I applaud you. But just practice your drinking. Well, he's got his own label of vodka, for God's sake. So, yeah, it really is a party. When you get there, it's going to be just one heck of a party. And we absolutely love Gabe. And, we wish Viking Queen all the best, and we want them to come to New Zealand as well. But, guys, I'm loving your work. I really am. And I can foresee you guys doing maybe about 5 shows here in New Zealand in front of New Zealand audiences. Would you consider that?
Absolutely, yeah. love to.
Nice.
New Zealand's bucket list for me. I've always wanted to be in New Zealand. Always.
Okay, so Liam, do you know much about New Zealand?
I don't. I know it's one of the prettiest places I've ever seen, though.
Yeah, okay, so you've seen Lord of the Rings as well. Well done.
Yes.
But let me give you a very, very quick brief on New Zealand. And believe me, we are lovely people here in New Zealand. We really, really are. We're respectful and like to have a lot of fun. So I got to let you know, if you're going to come to New Zealand and you're going to hang out with me, bail money. Okay? Just remember, grant equals bail money. Now, we're made up of 3 islands primarily. Right down the very bottom of New Zealand is a little island where they have mutton birds down there. Wonderful food, it really, really is. Called Stewart Island. Now, it's the only island in New Zealand that got a name, a real name. You know what I mean? I mean, Stewart's not a bad name, is it?
No.
Okay, so
It's better something like Lou or Charlie, that's for sure.
well, yeah, exactly. But at the same time, whoever named New Zealand after that, they've run out of imagination. They called the next one South. Yay! And of course, you got to have a North after South, right? So that's where we are right now in the North Island, and we would love to be able to show you around our picturesque kind of country. And well, you know, again, if you're going to hang out with me, don't forget the bail money. But I do sort of all sorts of weird and wonderful things that people normally wouldn't do. Have you ever heard of Queenstown?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mean Queensland. That's in Australia. That's the place where men in dresses and high heels drive fast and stuff like that. That's Queensland. It really is a land of them. But in New Zealand, we have a place called Queenstown. It's a little boutique kind of town where all the A-listers go to hide, to run away, to get up to a little bit of, you know, bit of that, yeah, where the paparazzi don't go, literally. And believe me, pre-pandemic, there was Tom Cruise was down there, Keanu Reeves, Kevin Costner was down there. Shania Twain actually owns property down there, so believe me, you never know, guys, who you're going to run into.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Problem is, you don't want to run into me. No.
I got one problem though. If Liam with you, he's not gonna be able to post bail because he'll be in the cell with you.
Yeah, of course he will. Of course he will. You know, me and Lamb, we don't mind watching the wall. You will be fine, literally.
Yeah.
But the reason why you don't want to run into me down in Queenstown is really, guys, I'll throw you off a bridge.
No, that doesn't.
Yeah, but,
Literally or figuratively?
literally.
Oh.
Yeah, literally.
Wait, fucking like bungee jumping? What are we doing here?
Yeah, absolutely bungee jumping. The guy who invented it here in New Zealand, AJ Hackett, is actually a friend of mine. And, well, you're not Australian. We'll attach the bungee.
Nope. No thanks. I'm a fan.
So, great. You're a little scared of heights or something, Craig?
Yeah, and I don't know. I'd like to think I have a little too many of my faculties left to, you know, to, no offense, but to jump up there and, I don't know. It's just a risk I'm not sure I want to really take. But I'd love to watch you.
Okay, well,
If I strap my wheelchair to that thing and jump off, you're jumping off too. I don't care.
hey, listen, Liam, if you want to strap your wheelchair to it, I will come with you. Okay?
Good.
Nice. But I want to take Craig for a parachute jump now.
I can see it on his face. He's not having it.
Craig,
I'll meet you there.
Craig, I've been free falling and parachuting and paragliding and everything for about 30 odd years. I'm an instructor. I would love to strap you on the front of me, literally.
Okay. All right. We'll see if we can make that happen.
Well, I got to let you know that, and this really happened. It happened about 6 months before the pandemic started, actually, in a city just about an hour away from where we are right now, where I do my jumping and everything. we had a couple come in. First time they thought it'd be fun to do. You know what I mean? Let's go parachuting. Yeah. So the crew called me up, says, "Hey, Fred, would you like to come and have a quick jump?" I went, "Yeah, absolutely." So I turned up, walked down the back of the room where they're signing in and, you know, getting all their stuff together and getting a little quick tuition on what to do and what to wear and everything like that. I'm just sitting there watching. And as the plane pulls up, we guide them out there, and I walk straight past them and head straight to the back of the plane, where I knew this guy was going to be sitting in front of me, right? So he comes in, I latch myself to him, my partner latches himself to the young lady, and we edge them to the door. And just as we're leaning out, Craig, I tap them on the top of their helmet and I says, "Have you been an instructor long?" That guy literally screamed all the way down. You know what I mean? Ah, dear, oh dear.
The worst area if they throw up. You're in that one spot.
Well, you know, all you have to do is flip them over.
Oh,
you know. Literally. I've got to be honest with you. The weirdest one we got requested was a nudist colony wanted to do a nude jump one day.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
That's when you see stuff rippling like crazy. I gotta be honest with you. Yeah. It is absolutely weird. It really is. But I got to be honest with you, if you're a little older, it takes the wrinkles out of your face.
He's naughty, isn't he?
I don't know about the rest of you, but the wrinkles sort of go. Anyway.
Back to the music. Back to
Tell me about Bullet. Please, somebody, you know, tell me about Bullet. Otherwise, I'm going to get one from my manager over here.
Right. Well, are you looking for the kind of the storyline, or? I mean, I suppose honestly, I can't even remember if that was my idea in the beginning or yours, Brian. I can't even remember, but the basis behind it, I guess it's not necessarily the most friendly topic, but it's sort of, I suppose you can just find it out by looking at the lyrics, but kind of about an intruder situation. And, you know, hey, there's one line in there that says, "I'll take your bullet and give you 21, you know. We kind of come out on top. Even though I took the bullet, I raised him 21, so there you have it.
Okay, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. Here, joined today by Junkyard Heights, coming out of New York. Yes, here's Bullet. Sorry guys, apparently my manager's saying I talk too much. It's what I get paid to do, I think.
No kidding.
That was a good lead-in though, from wrinkles to Bullet. That was good.
It's smooth, eh? It was. Very cool. Oh dear.
That was great.
Pamela says, "Can't wait to see you all you guys at Galaxy 107 FM. Pamela, we can't wait to see you either. You and Lisa, Tim, Mark, of course, Don, you know, everybody. We are looking forward to meeting up with you guys. We really are. Excuse me, I need a coffee. I was talking to a guy out of North Carolina just prior to doing an interview with you guys. His band is Uncle Watson's Widow, and he's a former criminologist, okay, and a psychiatrist as well. And the last time we spoke to him, his last words to me was literally, "Grant, my brain hurts." Now, if you can get one of those guys to say that, you're doing okay. So, here's something that really happened over the weekend. I went round to a friend's place. I usually go around there on a Sunday to have a few quiet ones. It's very few days that I get a bit of time off. And he's sitting there and he goes, Grant, I've got a problem. What's your problem, Brian? And he goes, I think Mum and Dad are sort of talking the end of life kind of stuff. And I went, why is that? And he goes, because Mum for the last 2 weeks has been saying to Dad, they go out to the patio, go and have breakfast every morning, everything. And she's saying to Dad, if I pass away, will you sell the house? And I says, yeah, okay, fair enough. And what's the old man's reply? And he goes, oh, Dad didn't want to talk about it until a day or so ago. And I went, okay. He goes, it's the same questions every day. He says, the worst thing is, my headboard is right next to their headboard in the other room. I can hear them through the wall, right? And I went, yeah. He goes, she's asking him at the end of the night as well. He's getting really pissed off with this. And I'm going, okay, so what's the solution? He goes, well, Dad finally cracked this morning at breakfast. And I went, okay, tell me. And he goes, no, I'm not going to sell the house. And she goes, oh, will you sell the car? No, I'm not going to sell the car. Oh, what about my golf clubs? No, I'm not going to sell your golf clubs. But besides, you know, if you want me to get married again after you pass away, she's left-handed.
How dear.
Simple that right there.
Yeah, well, you know, it's better than saying I bought my shoes from the local drug dealer yesterday. I don't know what they're laced with, but I keep tripping.
Oh my God.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today we're in New York. Absolutely fantastic. It's great to be back in New York, and we're joined by the Junkyard Heights, and believe me, absolutely loving this band. I really am. Music to drive fast to? Yes. Go and acquire yourself some of this. You're going to love it. You really are. Now, guys, having said that, and I gather that you guys want to come to New Zealand and have a look around New Zealand. I did warn you about bail money, everything like that. We do a few other crazy things here in New Zealand as well. Have you ever heard of a Zorb?
Wow.
A Zorb, okay. Well, and there's a few stipulations to this one because, believe me, for me it's funny as anyway, if you want to put it like that, but it's a big, clear, round ball, and what we do is we put you in the middle of it. I recommend alcohol before, during if you can, and primarily afterwards, but what we do is we roll you down a hill and we have some runners in front of you. It's like moving Skittles, you know what I mean?
Sounds like
Now, the reason why I recommend alcohol is, and believe me, the more shots you have before you get in the thing, the better it is, because when you run over the Skittles, you know, the looks on their faces is priceless.
oh, that's
Yeah, well, the challenge is now to see if you can take a photo as you go over. You know what I mean?
Are you flipping? Is it cool when you go upside down?
Yeah, but don't worry. We've got the gear for you to put on.
Oh, I'm just worried about what the inside of that ball is going to look like after I went down the hill.
Well, you wouldn't need to worry about it. It's the next person that needs to worry.
I don't want to be the next person.
Yeah, exactly. Believe me. Be the first, don't be the last. But we have hoses. We can take care of this. But believe me, we'll give you all a mankini each.
I'm sure it's
Well, it's the male G-string, but it goes up over your shoulders. You know what I mean? It's, you know,
perfect.
well, I tell you what, we had to get a scientist, no, I'm not kidding you, a rocket scientist to work out where the hell we were going to put the logo. It's true, I tell you, it really is. We got a plethora of these things left over. Have you ever heard of the rugby sevens?
No.
Okay. Well, Craig, I'm pretty sure you'd be familiar with the All Blacks then, who does the rugby. Well, the rugby sevens is basically a shortened down team of that, and we go to places like Tokyo and around the world, and play 7-a-side. Anyway, here in New Zealand, down in Wellington, our capital, back in the day, we all used to get dressed up in the weirdest, wackiest, wonderful outfits you could ever think of, just for a day, and get absolutely sourced and love a good competition between a whole collective of teams having a game of rugby. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely brilliant. Last time we went, and believe me, there was about 7 or 8 guys of us, all in our mankinis, and we weren't allowed in. Just a little excessive, they said. I mean, what are you talking about? I got my chili bin, I got my beer, I got my sandwiches, and I got my pouch on. I mean, could you see Brian and him and I would look really, really good together in mankinis, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Especially from the chin up.
Yeah, from the chin up. Come on, all those guitars, you should be familiar with a G string.
Yeah, we're done with this.
Well, at least it's not a broken one, but I do carry scissors with me too. You never know. Guys, I want to talk about the train to the morning sun. And, before we get into this, have you noticed how scientists are finding new planets and new moons every day these days?
Sure.
Yeah. Have you noticed how we tend to want to name these planets? We don't go there and ask them permission. Can we name your planet or your moon? Do we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're getting all these weird and wacky and wonderful names for not only the planets, but the moon. But have you realised that, well, our moon is still just called Moon?
Yeah, right. That doesn't.
It doesn't fit anymore, does it? Come on. I think we should rename the moon. What do you reckon?
I think we could name it North.
No. No, Brian,
Stewart.
I got a better idea, Brian. I think we should name it Celestial Body Brian.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Besides, it would look good on a check, don't you think?
What's that? That's an old fashion thing. Yeah.
Okay, so where the hell do I catch the train to the morning sun?
But now this one I can tell you all about. So my wife and I are big. How do I put this nicely? Winos. We live near the Finnish country, and we frequent wineries quite. In fact, I'm a WSET certified wine, well as a vocalist. Well, anyway, long story short, on the way home from Entries one day, I was driving, sleep in the front seat, and I wrote the lyric train to the morning on the way home. The effect on just that quick. But yeah, that's the story on that. I was recording the lyric, trying not to wake her up. Basically, the entire story, anyway, was recorded.
Yeah, Craig, I can actually, understand trying not to wake her up. I tried to do that to my wife as many times as possible.
And that's another one of those deals where Craig had this wonderful idea. And, geez, I think we're about outside of your house for this one call, like with Rusty Truck, and we just kind of sculpted the song, and it ended up being like probably one of our I don't know, it's hard to say, one of our better tunes. We've had some really good luck with it as far as the Music Mafia and going to number one. You know, and it's the vocally, it's amazing. You know.
Well, I got to let you know, Brian, so far, since we've been playing it here at Galaxy, you've had 1,371 requests and climbing. Believe me, you feature on Saturday shows all over the place. You really, really do. I'm very, very proud to be able to have you here at Galaxy. Here is Junkyard Heights. And
we're so proud.
Believe me.
A little quick thing on that. Not too long before writing that song, I had been to Nashville working with Skip Mitchell, who's a former member of the Oak Ridge Board. He was a producer for them and whatnot. Did some work with him, and when I was writing that song, in the middle of it, I thought, you know, you kind of need to do some harmonies with nothing else going on as sort of a tribute to an Oak voice thing. And unfortunately, not too long ago, Skip passed away earlier this year. Yeah, that was sort of those. Just side note.
You know,
and it made perfect sense to put it there, right where it's up.
You know, guys, I got to be honest with you. As I say, I play you in my car. Now, I get up about maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I end up at work here about 11:30 to midnight. So I'm blasting through my town, literally. This is literally tuned up in my car, and I have a kick-ass stereo. I've got to be honest with you. I make sure people know about the train to the morning sun. It's true. It's true.
It was a beautiful segue.
Well, thank you. I've learnt this trait once. Somebody showed it to me once. How we going, Barbara? Are we okay?
We're good.
Yeah. And everybody else is all smiling, taking photos. Getting the fingers from the production manager.
I'm all good. How's everybody else? They all good?
Dear, dear, dear. How you guys hanging in there? You okay?
We're great.
Nice. Now we got.
Thank you so much for having us on. We appreciate it.
Oh, believe me, my bro, it is such a pleasure to be able to talk to you guys. It really, really is. So I've become a big fan.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm kind of hoping though that the rail car's not going to stop here. Are you guys producing? You recording more? Are you going to send us more music? Will you come back again?
Yeah, absolutely. There's more. Liam's been writing some really nice stuff.
Awesome, awesome. Because I would love to follow you guys, you know, through your career and be able to play your music here at Galaxy. And Liam, I think you do a wonderful job. Kevin, I think you're an awesome engineer. 5 years? Come on, I've been an engineer for almost 40 years, 37 years, and you're a seasoned professional, bro. You really are.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And as I say, I've worked with some of the biggest bands and best bands in the world in some of the best places. So when I first heard your music, when Barbara presented your music to me, I went, I want to know more about this. Normally, I hear 100 bands a day and go, you know, okay, whatever. We're doing an interview with this one or that one. They stand out. For the rest of them, they might get onto the playlist, may not. You know what I mean? But with yours, when I first heard your music, I stopped and went, holy hell. I want to know more about this. So that's a good effort right there. It really is.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And as I say to you, we're in every country, in every English-speaking country in the world, you know what I mean? So we get people that are listening 24 hours a day, and you never know when your music might pop up. It really.
Craig was listening in this morning, and Joe.
Yeah, Craig, you were listening in this morning, weren't you?
At the J bomb.
That's correct.
F-bomb.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you. Did you need anything after that, you know?
No, I'm wonderful. Great.
You're
When he started drinking right there.
Yeah, sure. I was already good to go.
I don't drink anymore. I'm not allowed.
No.
No, the wife won't let me. Well, the last time apparently I was getting married, and the wife wouldn't let me do that either.
That's what I do. I keep my wife drinking so she don't come to her senses.
That's a good plan. I just wish my wife would drink. I've been trying to drive it to it for years.
I don't drink either.
Instead, she drives me to the pub.
The three of us don't drink.
I gotta watch. My wife's a nurse, so she could knock me off without me ever even knowing. So I gotta be careful.
Yeah,
Yes.
be good to that one for sure. Let's go back to the desk.
Cocktail or something.
That's right. You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. Yeah, literally. My producer just says, wife's a nurse. Very much. Keep an eye on that one. Literally. I was talking to a Canadian the other day, and I says to him, because his wife is a nurse as well, she works with heart and also does a bit of brain stuff, you know what I mean? And I says to him, I see your Prime Minister had a stroke the other day. He goes, no, I don't know about that. I would have heard about that. And I says, no, he would have had another one, but his wife pushed his hand away. Welcome to Kiwi humour. It happens. Yeah. Now, I got to ask you, beans and whiskey. Well, you had money for whiskey, but not enough for food. You had to end up with a bit of beans in the can or something like that. What's going on here?
Well, back in the old, that sort of, it was a term. So beans and whiskey. When you have whiskey.
You know, I get that. I really, really do. Reminds me of back in the university days. You don't have any food, but you got plenty of alcohol in the place.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Now, I also mentioned about dear. I mentioned about Lord of the Rings a couple of times now, and you guys are familiar with it. So you'd be familiar with, the man who made the movie himself. I went to university with this guy. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Peter Jackson. I went to university with him. He's on the country's rich list right now, and there's a reason for that.
I bet there is.
Joe, what are you doing? Are you a pharmacist?
No, I'm not a pharmacist. I'm just moving to one place to another in my car. So.
Oh, bugger, I was going to say, if you're a pharmacist, send me some Viagra.
I gotta get that cleared with customs.
Don't worry, I've got friends in customs. You're sweet. You're right. We'll get you there. Literally.
I tried Viagra once. I didn't swallow it fast enough. My tongue got stiff.
Yeah, same with my neck too. I've done that too.
Right here, I'm holding. This is the beans and whiskey guitar right here.
Oh.
Right there. That's a cigar box. That's right. I was just knocking around on it one day, and I came up with a Delta-sounding riff, and I sent it. And once again, I put that right, Kevin. And then, of course, Liam and Joe, everybody takes the ball and runs.
Nice. Is that an Ellington guitar?
Yeah, it's the guy who makes these. It's just a cigar box, actual bomb size. 3 strings, less mistakes.
Yeah, you know something? I've actually got a friend of mine that makes guitars out of biscuit tins.
Really?
So along the same concepts as what you've got there. Absolutely fantastic sound. In fact, I think we've given a couple away in a couple of competitions that we've had over the years. So believe me, absolutely fantastic. Now, Liam, I want to talk to you about how long you've been playing guitar. How long have you been doing this, young man?
It's funny. I actually hate this question because when I tell you the answer, you're going to be like, wow, this kid's probably unbelievable, should be as good as Joe Satriani. I've been playing since I was 6, but there's like off and on times between that and my life. So Yeah, I've been playing guitar for a long time. When I started taking lessons from Brian, I was, I believe, like 11 years old or so. 10 or 11 years old, and I fell in love with blues almost immediately. He was in this band called the Collar Cats, and I would go watch him play, and I just fell in love with that style so much. So basically my entire life is just I've indulged in the kind of blues culture and just try to become as good as I possibly can at blues guitar. But blues and rock are like the same kind of thing, so...
Yeah, there's definitely a correlation there, and I'm sure Kevin will understand this. As an engineer, you see, I don't listen to music like a fan listens to it. I kind of break it down in its increments and try and work out how it was structured, who was the mixer, how it was mastered, the whole enchilada. And as I say, I'm sure Kevin is nodding his head there, he understands that as well. So when we very first heard the sound of Junkyard, we wanted to know more. We wanted to figure it out. Who was doing what position was where, who was doing the mixing, who was recording. Is it a home recording studio? Because these are getting better and better and better every year. They really are. As a professional that goes into recording studios all of his life doing this, I'm being shown up by a young lady who's only been doing it for 6 months, and I couldn't tell. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, it really is. It's nuts.
It really is. And of course, Kevin, he's been doing it for 5 years. This is a quality. It really, really is, because it just adds that extra little bit. Joe, you're not driving and talking to us at the same time, are you?
I am not. I'm listening.
Yeah, he's got a beer going too.
Okay.
I have you guys on my speakers in my car.
Okay, well that's good, because we don't want you having an accident while you're doing this.
No, I'm good. I have you on Bluetooth. I can hear you.
Okay, did you swing by the pharmacy for me on the way out?
I told them they're gonna stay open late.
Nice. I'll get Barbara to send you the details, to send everything to me. I'm looking for a box about this big, Nice blue pills in there, sweet. I'm sure I can find some friends that'll take them off my hands. Sharon Marie White is watching us. So it is nice to have you on board, Sharon. It really is. Welcome back. So we've come to the pinnacle of this one, guys. I want to know about beans and whiskey, because believe me, it's now infiltrating my breakfast show. How the hell did that happen?
Beans and whiskey. Don't go.
Brian,
I'm sorry?
how did we start that one? A riff? Or was
Yeah, I had this riff, and I sent it to Craig, and Craig put the beans and whiskey magic to it, and and then when we have a process, so when I'm in the studio with my idea in Kevin's basement, and then what I always rely on with Kevin is not only is he really a good engineer, he has really good ideas. So if I'm stuck, or he'll say, hey, why didn't you try this? And usually he's on to something,
Yeah.
And now we have the benefit. Some of these tunes were written before Joe was born. But now we've got Joe, who's like a total world-class drummer. But now we've got that. So things are just getting better and better.
Joe's a sponsored drummer by Trinity.
Well, Joe, were you ever kicked out of the kitchen as a kid for beating up the pots?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, me too. Me
For
too.
sure. My wife still kicks me out everywhere because I can't stop. I'm always going.
I was like that as a youngster as well. Believe me, the amount of wooden spoons that I broke and dented pots, Mum really just wouldn't let me near it. So, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, the hottest, and believe me, it's infiltrating the breakfast show now. You're going to hear it. Have a listen. Here is Beans and Whiskey, Junkyard Heights. Oof, it's hot in here. It really is.
I'm winning at the moment.
You're winning at the moment. In fact, you have one at the moment.
Yes.
Still got 2 degrees to go and plenty a day.
Oh no.
I reckon by 2 o'clock it'll get to my number.
He's not going to win.
I am going to win.
No.
I am.
Turn up the heat.
The weird thing about it is we're in winter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
0 degrees at 5:30, 4:30 in the morning till 6 o'clock, and then 20, 22 degrees lunchtime.
yeah.
Normally by lunchtime we might have about 15.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we run into that. We only that's more of a January, February thing for us.
No,
Because that's your summer. I just can't imagine January being summer. So.
Well, our Santa wears shorts and jandals or flip
Yeah,
flops.
we go to the beach for our Christmas.
We go to the beach for Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't go huddle around the fireplace.
No, we don't eat a lot of
Now, how
food.
hot does it get there usually in the summertime?
I can be up to about 32, 33 degrees.
Yeah.
That's
With
Celsius.
Fahrenheit.
It can actually get up to about 100 in Fahrenheit.
wow.
You know, it does get very, very hot. It really can. And I think last year we
We took
converted
up
it
to
over as
40.
what, 99 or something, wasn't it?
40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get a lot of humidity.
Humidity. Yeah.
We don't get a lot of humidity.
Well, where we are, it's dry heat, isn't it? Because we're in a basin right here. We have a different kind of deal going on.
Yeah.
That's why we know the weatherman's never going to get it right, because he comes from Wellington and he doesn't really research the fact that we are surrounded by mountains and we have a whole different biosphere than the rest of the country, you know?
Yeah.
But we don't mind giving him shit anyway.
I worked it out from the years before. Settled it out.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Can we put some Kiwi air conditioning into place?
It's not that hot.
It's not
We
bad.
have the heater on next.
Yeah, Kiwi air conditioning. It's called Open the Bloody Window. Oh look, I asked the bosses for a fan for summertime last year.
Then later on.
They went, sure, what would you like? I
want
says,
the
oh,
heater
something
on.
maybe Swedish, about 18, 6 foot tall, blue eyes. She can do this all day. They got me a bloody oscillating gold ear.
A fan.
Galaxy 107 FM.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. It is bang on 12:30 lunchtime. Yes, I've gone a little bit over time, I got to admit, but that's my fault. I get paid to do it. I really do. So, having said that, we are going to wrap it up right now, but hang in there. Please, guys, don't go anywhere just yet, because we're going to do a few things after this. But I must say to you guys, will you come back again? Will you subject yourselves to this all over again? I double dare you.
Only if you pay Bolton.
Absolutely.
Very, very cool. And I didn't even use one single chicken joke all the way through it.
Thanks.
Very cool. Guys, I would absolutely love to be able to release new music. I would love to be able to wear your brand while we're doing these interviews, stuff like that. Get behind you and promote you as much as possible. But I am going to ask you guys, next time you're near a recordable 58, how would you like to do me a couple of voice sweepers, a couple of voice drops, whatever you call them? We call them stingers here. We would love to play you here on our station so people keep remembering who you are, what you are, and how you sound, everything like that. We would love to get behind and promote you. Will you do that for me?
Oh, absolutely.
Again.
I'm sorry?
Shirt are you?
What size shirt? I'll get Barbara to send you all the details.
Okay.
Literally, that's why I was worried when I heard you guys say that you're going to respond to everybody that's going to get in touch with you. There's going to be another 5,000 Facebook fans now, and you're going to have nothing to do except this all day. Believe me, that's why I have a Barbara. Everybody needs one of those, literally. I don't respond to anybody. Literally. That's my phone. It's turned off. Mainly because I don't while I'm doing these anyway. But the thing is, I never never get the time to talk to people except on here. So I apologise for subjecting you to that. For everybody else that's been joining us today, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure. And don't forget, subscribe. Be a part of the noise. It is growing exponentially around the world. And believe me, we welcome you. We really, really do. We also want to thank Big Records and Rise Up TV, Sony Music, The Orchard, right here at Galaxy. We're very proud to be in association with you. Check it out.
Another indie artist interview brought to you by Galaxy 107 FM in association with Rise Up TV, Big Record and Sony Music The Orchard.
Done? Good?